introduce to you guys kind of a newcomer for us. And her name is Zoe Pennant, but I know her as Sage Oneness. And Sage is with us. She has been on her spiritual journey for most of her life. She became aware of her existence and wanted to find out more in her 20s. And over the last 20 years, she has come to understand that this journey is about growth. She's learning, she's experiencing, and she's starting to unpack all that information and to share it. So today she's here to share with us, to share some of her story. I hope you'll do maybe a little channeling or give us kind of a little taste of the knowledge that you're bringing in. So great to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me here. It's absolutely an honor to be here with you guys. It's evening over here. So it's 6 o'clock p.m. over here. And
where are you?
I'm in England, London. So I'm in London, and can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great, and I love your accent.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So yes, I'm in London, and yesterday's conference was absolutely fantastic. I wasn't able to listen to the whole of the presentations, only because it became nighttime and I needed to sleep and go astral travel. But it was absolutely amazing. So I know today is going to be another fantastic conference for everyone that's involved, for everyone that listens. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start off, before I do anything, is to just bring everyone's energy together, to bring the love together through my light language. I always like to start off with my light or soul language, as we can call it as well. And it's just a vibration to balance energy and to bring love together for us to be able to have access to the frequencies while we're all speaking and connecting together, not just for the now, but for the whole of the process as well. So I'm going to start off with my light language. Salaka shalaka salaka formula kosholo kosolo kohala kasili makala silima koshokolo mahala kasamaka. Anala makashala kasili makolo mokosolo mokala kasili makala shiliki meka. Anala makala masala makala shulo mokala sili mekili mekala masolo mokala moko. Anala makala sili makala makolo shiliki makala sili makala salamoko shuko suko malakasi. Ansala kamakasala makoshuko la makasi kili makasala mako. And la makasala kashala makasali mikolomoko, asala makala shala makasiki mahokasa, and hikili mikala makasili mikala makosoko moki, halamakashili mikisi mikalaka. Thank you. Thank you, energy. Thank you, frequency. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start. Now I'm going to start with my journey so far to about, I've got my clock here, to about probably 22 or something like that. And then I'm going to channel and bring in the beings. I will speak about more about the beings with regards to my journey. And I'm going to channel the beings. They haven't come through yet. They haven't visited me yet. So they'll be here probably around that time. And then we'll see what sharing they would like to give to us humans in this present moment in time. So for me, this journey has been one of those stories that I wouldn't have expected. That's what I can say. I wouldn't have expected. I felt like my journey started around 2 to 3 years old. So when I was 2 to 3 years old, I remember deeply in my soul and in my spirit that I would look at my mum and my father and my older brothers and sister, and I would say, who are these people? I knew I wasn't part of the family, and I was about 3. I knew I had to get to know these people. And because I knew and I had such a deep feeling, I wasn't in a rush to speak, and I wasn't in the rush to really get to know them. So I took long to speak throughout my early years, and I would just connect to the spirit world. So my family would say that I would not speak to anyone, but then speak to something that wasn't there. They called it spirits. For me, I was going home. So my spirit world was my home. I would go there, I would speak with these energies and these entities. I would play with them. They will play with me, but they weren't humans. They were frequencies. So in my brain, I do not see words like everyone else. I see shapes, I see videos, then I see pictures, and then words may come afterwards. So that was my 2 to 3 years old. It was a fact that I knew, who are these people? And no one needed to tell me any different. I didn't need to ask anyone what this meant. It was just a knowing for me. So from my 0 to 10 years old, I started to connect to my spirit home more than my flesh home, more than my human home. And that was something that I done constantly. And I loved it. I loved being there. I loved doing that. And then it got to a stage where I was probably about 4 or 5, and I started to travel in my dreams. Now, where I would go in my dreams, I couldn't 100% remember, but I knew that I would be going into like a portal. And this portal was like a reddish orangey color. And I would go into this portal and then like disappear into something. And this portal that I would go in each night, I knew that I was taken, because when I woke up, and I remember I was only about 4 or 5, I wasn't in primary school yet. And when I would wake up, sometimes I'd wake up in the bathroom and I would just run back in my room. Sometimes I'd wake up in the toilet and I would just quickly run back in my room. And this happened often. I mean, it was part of my life. Again, I didn't tell no one. And I didn't tell no one because people were. So I didn't ask them. I didn't need to share, because I think I felt everyone else was doing that, to be honest. It felt normal to me to be able to, at nighttime, go into this portal and disappear, or even when I'm not going into the portal in the daytime, I'm playing with these entities and these spirits. Well, they were spirit form, but they weren't human form. And this went on for a very long time, until I reached to about probably 9, 10. And then things started to change a bit for me. And at 11 years old, I started to have seizures. So I'd have epileptic seizures. Now, before I had the epileptic seizures, it was quite interesting because I was starting to go primary school. And again, in my thoughts, in my mind, I knew that there were certain friends that's around my age at school that I connected with, and some that I didn't. So there were times where I just needed to be alone, and I needed to play with my spirit self, with my spirit home in school. So I was classed as being a bit weird. I was classed as being a bit, you know, not the same like everyone else. And my friends around me couldn't understand why I needed time out. And I would say, no, I'm not playing with you guys today. I'm quite happy going off and playing over there. And they couldn't understand that. And I thought it was normal to be like that. You know, I thought it was normal for me to go off and go into my mindset and play in that spirit world. I thought that was normal. It was normal to me. And before the epilepsy started coming, I was very good at maths, very, very good at maths. And the teacher would would say to me, for me to help other children I was still in primary school here. And then 11 came and the seizures started to come. Now, these seizures will come in my sleep while I was sleeping. So while I was off, my physical was doing its thing and having seizures. And then I would come back into my body. And when I came back into my body, I don't know anyone that's listening that's had seizures. It was very apparent that I would jump into my body. And when I jump into my body, I would open up my eyes and think, oh, I'm back here. And that had happened all the way through myself having seizures. I had seizures from 11 all the way up to like 25. And nobody, no hospital, no doctors could see why I was having these seizures. There was nothing on my brain that they saw. They didn't see nothing on my brain. And they just said, maybe, you know, they just didn't know why. Through having my seizures, I was starting to get fearful with what I was going through with regards to my spirit world and traveling and you know, connecting with these energies and these frequencies that nobody else would be speaking about. And I got quite frightened. And I got frightened because obviously my family was starting to get frightened because I'm having seizures. And for me, I'm just like, well, I've gone off, you know. I don't know what my physical body's doing, but I've just gone off and I'm okay, you know. And I started to get frightened. So that was starting to block my spiritual side a bit, not that much, but a bit. So going on now to 11 to 20, my teenage years, I was still very quiet. I started to speak back, but I was still very, very, very quiet. I was still very quiet. I didn't want to speak to other humans unless I had to, you know, and there were certain things that I already knew. Don't ask me why. So for instance, my mum would always say that us daughters, we had to wait till we was 18 to have a partner or have a boyfriend, and the age was 18. And for me, in my brain, so I'm not speaking out, I'm just saying in my brain, I knew I had to have a boyfriend at 16. I just knew it. It just felt right. I was excited and I just knew it was 16. I didn't say anything to no one. I just knew it was 16. And I knew that's when I was going to break my virginity and that's when it was going to be. And I was young here. So I must have been about probably 11, 10 when my mum would say this because my sister was older. And I just knew in my mind, it's going to be 16. Now, when I became a teenager and I was 15, and I remember this so clearly, I met my oldest son's dad and I just knew it was going to be him. And I was like, okay, it's him. And I was really excited, again, in my mind. So this is all in my mind. This is all me speaking to self and speaking to other entities and, you know, having my dialogue with them. And I was really excited. And I said to them, okay, but I'm 15 and I know it has to be 16. So I finished the friendship. And at 16, I went back to find him just to connect with my knowing of what I needed to do at 16. And those things happened often. I would just get a feeling, I would just know, and I would just do. And it was natural for me to be like that. And I didn't need to ask anyone. I didn't need to say, is this okay? Why does this happen? It's like I got confirmation from my spirit world. So I didn't need confirmation from anyone else. And I would do things like play a game with self, with my higher self. And the games would be, I might be very young and looking outside of my window. And I would say to myself, okay, I know what car's coming next. It's going to be a blue Cartina. And then a blue Cartina will come. And I'll be like, oh, 1-0 to me. And then I'll play another game and I would say, okay, I can see that a car's coming. It's going to be this car. And then it would be the car coming. I would also play a game like next week, this program's going to be on the telly. It's going to be this program. It's going to come on at this time. And then it will come. Or I would say tomorrow, this is going to happen. And then it will happen. These were all games for me. This wasn't something like I thought was, oh, this is out of the ordinary. It was just games. That went on all the way through. Met my oldest son's dad, and that happened. We had a relationship. I got pregnant at 17. Again, I heard this voice, this knowing that when I became pregnant, I was young, I was 17, I was still a teenager. And I was going to go and have an abortion. And then something stopped me and it said very clearly, you have to keep him. You have to keep him. And I just knew, again, no one helped me. I didn't speak to no one. I just went with my inner voice and it said, keep him. That's what I done. And throughout the whole of my life, it has been like that. I've been my own person, guiding my own self, going with my instinct, going with my intuition and just letting it be. And now looking back, I feel like I was like that because I also knew that these humans around me, my family, who I loved, weren't really my family. But I didn't know that then. I didn't know about walk-ins. I didn't know about anything to do with that. And then I had my son and done my thing. And then 20 came, and then my illnesses started to just get worse. My seizures got worse. My illnesses got worse. I started to try and fit in with regards to this earthly realm. I tried to fit in. I tried to have a relationship. I tried to live this normal life, go partying, having a good time, connecting with friends, you know, sharing information and just living everyday life, bringing up my child and, you know, starting work, you know, and stuff like that. And something was missing in my spirit. I was becoming ill. My seizures were becoming worse. And then at 25, had my second son and ended up in intensive care again because of my seizures. And I had a death experience. And by having a death experience, it made me really understand what this spirit, illusion, dimension, any words that you want to connect to with regards to other experiences that go on around this earthly realm and in this earthly realm. My death experience in the physical, I was going. They had to take out my son at 26 weeks. I was pregnant with my second son. They brought the priest to give me my last rites because I was going. And that's the physical side of me. The spiritual side of me, I went to this place, and this place was of nothingness. It was so nothingness that it was of darkness. There was no color, but the feeling was of bliss. It was absolutely amazing. And even though there was no voice, like how I'm speaking now, there's no words, it was just all feeling. And the feeling spoke to me. And the feeling said, you have to go back. And I was like, no, I don't want to go back. This is just absolutely bliss. And they said, yeah, I know, but you have to go back to finish your purpose. And when you finish your purpose, you're going to come back to this bliss. But this bliss called death is just a continuation. It's not a killing like dead. It's a continuation of energy. And this is the energy that you would come back to. However, if you ever want to feel this death feeling, just close your eyes. Close your eyes, and you will always feel this bliss, death feeling. Came back, obviously, came out of intensive care. And for a very long time, I did not tell no one about my death experience. I just got on, and I had to in the physical. My son was ill. My second son was ill, so he came prematurely. He came at 26 weeks. So I woke up and I had to deal with him straight away. That brought a lot of stress. That brought a stroke. So I had a stroke soon after. He had a hole in his heart and a hole in his bowels, and I had to deal with him. And a stroke came, and the whole of my face, this side of my face, was just drooped, and I couldn't do much with this side, but I still made sure I looked after my son, and I kept going and I kept going. And these illnesses was just starting to come throughout my 20s. So if it wasn't that, it was something else. It was anemia, it was draining. I didn't have no energy whatsoever. And that kept on. And then something happened, because I knew that I was here for a purpose now. So my concept was starting to change. So I was still going off at night. That remained all the way through. I was still going off at night, astral traveling, and I would come back with bruises. And that was normal to me. My mum, when I was younger, took me to the hospital to see why I was having these bruises. They couldn't find nothing wrong with my bruises. My bruises never hurt. And again, I was just used to that life. Used to going off, coming back, getting up and seeing bruises on me. And these bruises were specific bruises. So they would look circle, and they would be like circle bruises. Sometimes I would have like triangle, but they were mostly circle bruises that I would have. And then in my 20s, one day I just woke up. It was as clear as day. And then my hands just felt like tingly and felt funny. And I thought, this is weird. Okay, that I didn't think nothing of it. I just left it. And then maybe like a week afterwards or something like that, I can't remember time in a way. My friend said her boyfriend was dying of cancer. And again, I heard this voice that said, you need to go and heal him. I was like, oh, this is strange. And I knew that it was something to do with my hands, because I felt that tingling in my hands from before. So again, I always listen. I have, from 3 years old to now, I have always listened to my instinct, and I've never needed to ask anyone. I've never had anyone to ask. So I just went and I said, okay, this is what you're saying. I went to my friend's house, and I said to her partner, okay, hi. It got to it, my friend's partner was at the stage of coming out of the hospice. So there was nothing more they could do. They said he's going to go when it's his time. So he was at home resting. So I went and visited him, and I said, look, I know this might sound a bit weird, but is it okay to just do a little bit of healing on you and stuff like that? And then he was like, no, it's okay. Don't want to do none. I'm okay. I'm going to go. So that's okay. And then I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do here? And then I just started speaking to him, and then just saying, well, if that is the case, then why not try? And let's just see, And then eventually he said, okay, then. And I just took the hands and just connected to the elements. So it was the sun that I was connecting with. I did used to do Reiki before, but for this, I didn't do no Reiki. I just connected with the elements of the sun and got the sun to come in. And I just literally put my hand on his skin. And that's all that I done. And he said, oh, I can feel warmness. I can feel this. I can feel that. And then that was it. I left him. And he was like, I think the 2 days after that, he felt better to go for a walk. And then going for a walk, he done something else. And then doing something else, he was able to get up and do that. He was convinced it was the healing. And I went and done another session with him because he asked. And then by the time he had his doctor's appointment, they said that the cancer was 80% gone at that time. And then my story like literally opened up from there. I started doing other people. I started going to hospice and doing energy work and healing there. I started doing putting my hands on people that not just was going to pass away or had illnesses, but you know, maybe they were on drugs or they were taking substances and they got addicted to them, or they were alcoholics and they were drinking. It was just all different scenarios. And I would just put my hands, and I just knew that there was a vessel that was using me for this. And that went on. And then after that, people were starting to come to the house and I was getting a lot of people coming. And then with everything in life, as we know, things have to grow and things have to change. So where I was doing this, I even wrote a book called Wholeness Within, A Spiritual Side for Self-Knowledge. And that book, I think I wrote that in 2007. And just giving a couple of experiences that I went through with these hands and what it was doing. And it started to change and grow. And where it was growing for my hands to give energy and to, I don't use that word healing no more, but I was still using it then, healing and giving energy to people and humans that was ready to transition on. So it wasn't to keep them here. It was to allow them to have peace, to allow them to connect with their inner self, and to allow them to connect with death. And when it became to that level, I was like, okay, this is on another level now, spirit world, the universe. And back then, because I was in my 20s still, I was coming into my 30s, and people that was coming to me to get this energy work and to get these healing hands to just be placed on them, they wanted to stay on this earthly realm. And that's what they were coming for. They were coming to get healed. And I had to explain to them that healing comes in so many different forms. And there were some humans that I knew I was working with their energy and working with them to heal them, to connect with death. And a lot of humans weren't ready for that. So because they weren't ready for that, I wasn't ready for that. And I stepped back and I said, spirit world, universe, I'm going to step back from this. I don't think I'm ready for that growth. And they listened, and I was able to step back from that. And throughout that time, I was continuing to grow spiritually. I always listened to my intuition, and that was growing as well. My kids were getting older, and they were starting to see that their mother is different. They don't have a normal mother like everyone else. And my oldest son, that was a problem for. My youngest son just gelled and he was fine. Within my 30s, the illnesses were still there, all in between. So I had cancer throughout that as well. And the cancer cells that I had, that was in my womb, again, it allowed me to grow. Having cancer and knowing that, okay, the cancer cells are here. What is it here for? What is it telling me? What is it doing? I started to shift where I could go inside my body and speak to my organs and speak to different parts of my body. And by the time I was able to do that, I was like, okay, accept who you are. Accept who you are and start living this now. And I started to open up and to start in being. just starting living this vessel of a human. And the cancer cells ended up just being stage 2. They were able to cut it out. And I said, this is enough. No more illnesses here. What do I need to do? Where do I need to grow? What do I need to do to get to this next level? And slowly I started to work on my body, because now I could see myself going in. I could see my body, and I was able to do certain adjustments to my body, eating, hygiene, just everything just started changing. And while I could do that, I started to shift again and grow, where I could also go inside other people's body. So I started to work with people like with HIV, you know, and AIDS, and certain humans, where I would go inside their blood cells, and I could pick up certain things from their blood cells and certain organs. And some of the times it wasn't just healing, because again, my healing started to change, where I was supporting other humans to know their inner self and go into themselves and find who they were within themselves. So I wasn't just doing all the work and saying, oh, you're healed now. I started to get them to find who they were. And that is when things started again to grow. And then I started to have an understanding that not that just this, what there's more to this life, but have an understanding that it's not going to be for everyone. So the more that I spoke out, the more people was like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, that can't happen. This can't happen. And I just would climb up again and just be quiet and just do. So I was doing, this is like everyday life to me. It wasn't to get famous. It wasn't to, you know, get a lot of people to follow me. You know, back then there wasn't even, I don't think I was on social media or nothing like that. I just was doing my everyday life, and it would just grow through word of mouth. And that's what I would do. What I haven't shared with you guys is in this earthly body, I have neurological conditions. So I ended up being dyslexic and being on the spectrum. So I'm autistic. Now that makes sense to when I was younger. And that makes sense to my mindset of how I see things. I see videos, I see pictures, I see sounds, I see vibrations. The vibration speaks to me, and then the words come later on, and then I can speak. So that went on all the way through. Now, I'm not bringing up walking yet, because walking has only come in recently, but you can see that I was already a walking. And you can see that I was being drip fed through my walking. I'll tell you a little bit more of that if I've got time later. I was being drip fed through my walking, because my walking started at 3. It started from that day when I looked around and I could say, who are these people? Who are these people? So I'm moving on now to coming into my 40s. So I'm in my 40s now. I'm doing the same thing, doing my spiritual stuff, everyday work to me. And then the 15th of August, 2017, I'm looking at the time, guys, 2017, these 3 beings came to visit me in my living room, live, just there in my living room. And this was in 2017. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. I was like rubbing my eyes to see if I'm seeing it right. They had a big head, a small body, no eyes, nose, mouth, or ears. And they were a darkish grayish color, but no color. And quickly they spoke to my mind, and they said, draw us. And when you draw us, your fear will go. I drew them quickly, my fear went. And they started a dialogue, and they started speaking. And I started speaking back. And that changed the way I was connecting to death, the way that I was doing my spiritual everyday living. because they were here live and I could see them. So I didn't need to like travel and go astral traveling and connect to frequencies there and go to different dimensions and get information. What I haven't shared, because there's so much, but what I haven't shared is that when I used to go off, work used to be done on me. So work used to be done on my brain, work used to be done on my physical body. And I'm speaking sexual as well. I can go into that another time, but not scary, not sexual in the physical human form that we think sexual is, another form of energy chi, yeah, heightening my energy chi for the work that I need to do here or needed to do here. So with these beings, they said they're here to give humans messages, and they're here to work through me to get that out there. It's not just me. They said that they work with other humans as well. It wasn't just me. This went on for some time and time's going. So I'm going to just go forward to now. So I've got time to bring them in. Yeah. So they worked with me all the way through these years, and to last year when they said it's time now. So the years before, I came out a little bit by sharing these beings, and I done little groups, but I weren't feeling it. There was something about my energy where I felt like I needed more teachings. I didn't feel comfortable just them coming and then I'm just starting, I'm hearing them and then I'm just speaking. I wanted more teachings. So I stepped back a bit, and they said, okay, are you ready for more teachings? I said, yes, this is what I want. And they gave me teachings. I went to their energy field. They will come for me and I will go there and they will do work on me. And then they will come here where I'll see them and we would do work here in this earthly realm. The only person that saw or could connect to them, I have a friend that says that she connects to them called Annette, and my cat. So my cat Star from the off connected to them and could see them and run around them and stuff, and that just gave me a peace of mind that okay, I'm not going crazy and they are here. So coming back to today, so today, a couple of months ago, I saw the video of Sheila speaking about walk-ins. Before that, I was having an inkling that there's more to what's going on here with regards to me. And I know I go places, I know I connect with the spirit world, I know I connect with different entities, I know that I can astral travel into dreams and get information from dreams and it will come true. I know I have these hands, you know, that I can do things with, all that I knew, but there was something missing. And then I spoke to a friend of mine that I've gone on to her shows a couple of times, called Karen Twain. And I was telling her this and she said, you need to speak to this person. You need to speak to Sheila. I'm going to put you two together straight away, put us two together. And then I text Sheila or messaged her, and I just said, I can't remember what I said, to be honest, but I made contact. And straight away, Sheila was able to say, let's book in some time. And she booked in some time, which would have been that weekend. So I had the whole week, and I think we was going to book time for that weekend to do like a video Zoom. And I thought, great, I'm just going to tell her my life. And that's all that I'm going to do. But in between that time, I got a couple of confirmations of me being a walk-in. So I had an experience of just going to the supermarket to get something. And then I went past a little child. She was in the trolley seat. So she must have been about 3 or something like that. But she could talk. And she was waving at me and pointing and waving. And I walked past. I thought, oh, lovely, sending love. And I just walked past and just waved back. And she had her mum with her, and I think it was her gran. And she was pointing at me. And then they said, hold on. So I went back and I said, is everything okay? And she said, no, my daughter is saying that I think the name was Jeffrey, but I'm not sure. I think she's saying you're Jeffrey, you're Jeffrey. And Jeffrey was her brother. And I thought, oh, that's lovely. And she said, no, but my son has died. And she's saying it's you, you know. And I thought straight away, I just knew and I believed, and it was a knowing for me. And I just thought, oh, that's beautiful. And I said, I'm sending everyone love, and I'm sending you guys love. And I didn't say too much, and I just walked away. And I knew, just something like that, I just knew that, okay, you are walking. And I had my discussion at that weekend with lovely Sheila, and I just connected with Sheila straight away. And how I'm talking now, I just went straight in, told her my story. She had a pen, was writing it down, writing things down. And towards the end, she said, I think you know what I'm going to say. And I said, yeah, I know. And she said, you are walking. And then we went into me being free, and we broke some things down. I can't go into it now. And since then, this was months ago, since then to now, so much has opened up with the walking. So I have frequency, my frequency has connected with my walking, because I'm alert now, I'm awake, I've identified I'm walking. So as soon as I said, yes, that's what I am a walking. Wow, I am a walking. As soon as I opened up and I embraced the knowing that I was a walking, things started to open up very, very quickly in no time. So where I'm at with my walking energy now is that I feel the frequency of the walking. So each morning now, when I connect and I do my meditation and I connect to the spirit world every morning, I connect to my walking energy. And my walking energy is very female. She's a female energy with a bit of male, but the female energy I really connect more, but there's male energy within that. And it is guiding me, and it's guiding me to connect with my light language more, and it's guiding me to continue with my purpose of why I'm here. So quickly, I've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to bring the beans are here. So they're here now, they're right in front of me here. And I'm going to bring them in. Before I bring them in, I just want to say that I don't know what they're going to say. And I do go into a vortex. So they use me and they use my vessel, and I call it a vortex that I go in. So for 10 minutes, I probably won't be here, or for 5 minutes. They're going to know that time. They're going to know about the time in this earthly realm. So they know that not to speak for long, but I won't be here. So I will be like in a deaf energy while I bring in the beings. Again, I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to share, but let's bring them in. So I'm going to bring them in, guys, and let's see what they say. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Lo ahí, lo ahí, lo ahí. Okay. We bring love and peace while we speak to you humans. We are here to share a message. A message that you humans already know. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share this message. It's a remembrance because it's a message that you already know. Humans need to remember why they have and wanted to experience this earthly realm. This earthly realm is an illusion. It's not real. It's an illusion for humans to create a story for them to experience. Not for human or humans to be able to take it on and be fearful of this earthly realm, or don't want to leave this earthly realm. Humans, you already know. Life is death, and death is life. No separation, just a continuation. The humans that are listening right now are open to change. But there's many humans that are still not. There is no good or bad, or bad or good. Just experiences that you, created. It's like a spider web. We are all one, no separation, but have our own individual story that we wanted to create for this earthly realm. What does it mean, humans, when we tell you there's no past, there's no present, and there's no future? There's no up, there's no down, there's no left, there's no right. Just the energy of flow, just the frequency, allowing its growth to just continue to grow constantly. We always have to bring up the word death because a lot of humans are still afraid of something that they are. You are death. You are birth. In this earthly realm. No separation. Humans, when you get to love the death within you, your story that you created will really start to change. Where you can truly feel the bliss of beauty and peace and different forms of love. When you start to love death. We want to thank you. Thank you for your creation. This earthly realm is about the yin and yang. That brings the oneness. One cannot be without the other. That energy can shift and change within the yin and yang at any time. Humans, remember, you are here to remember your creation of your story. You're meant to have fun. It's not meant to be misery unless you choose it to be. Have fun on this earthly realm that you chose to be in. Have fun. We are going to go now. We send you love, peace, and please, when we come to visit you, try not to be fearful, because we do have a message. You created that for yourself, for us to come. Lo'ai, 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 banakashaka masukunu mahaka siki mahamako sukumaho. Okay, guys, I am back. I hope that got recorded. I hope everything went okay. I hope that nothing, you know, you heard my voice okay, you heard them okay. And most of the time when I go into that mindset, I don't remember everything. So I just hope that you got something from it. And I thank them. Thank you so much. And I think this is becoming the ending of my presentation. So I've done it on time. I tried not to speak too much, guys. As you can see, I could speak. Thank you so much.
Well, I think you have a little bit more time if you had questions. Let me see if there's any questions, anything. I haven't been checking the chat. Wonderful, Zoe, amazing time. Let me see, is there any questions here? Can I missed the beginning of that channeling. Who were you actually tapping into, Zoe, when you were channeling?
So they're entities called the beings. When I first saw them, I thought they were aliens because they have a big head, small body, no eyes, nose, mouth, ears. So when I saw them, first of all, I thought they were aliens. When I asked them who they were at the time, this was in 2017, they said, who do you want us to be? Aliens and greys and all those words that humans speak about, it's just words. But if you take away the words, we are the frequency of everything, of you, I, just in a different form. And we've come here to share message, to give a message. And they've been doing that ever since. And they use me as a vessel, and I share what they want to share through that. And it's been happening ever since.
Are we in for a big frequency shift this year, or have we been through this and now kind of evening out, you think?
They're still here, so I'm going to let them answer that.
Okay, great.
The shift that's happening now is just the beginning. There's going to be more shifts that needs to come, and the more shifts that needs to come, there's going to be massive changes in time to come. So they're talking about that hundreds of years from now. They're saying it now. They've always said this. They're saying it now. Some humans say that humans are going to be extinct. Yeah, there's going to be no more humans. They're saying that is true, but in a different form. So humans are going to start to change form. They're going to start changing their way they look. their mindset, the more that we embrace what we're doing now, the frequency, we have to change with that, because we're dealing with different frequencies and we're growing differently. So we're going to start to change, and we won't be looking like humans of how we look now. So it would seem like we're extinct, but we're not. We're just shifting, and shifting energy, shifting our way we look, shifting our mindset. And we need to shift our mindset, and the frequency that's going to grow and change and become more, I can't even use the words. There's no words to what they're speaking about here, but the massiveness of how it's going to grow, everything else has to change with it. It has to. Do you know what I mean? And some people, it won't be for them. Some people it will be, but we're still at baby stages, they're saying. We're still at stages of understanding death. We're still at stages of where humans still afraid of death. And when you're afraid of anything, you can't be free enough to really grow. You know, so they always say, humans, what do you feel freedom is? Because you guys don't even really know how to free your mind. So we're still at the baby stage for them, you know.
When will it change? I mean, when do you, I know it's hundreds of years or thousands of years to this evolution, but when will it be more obvious, this shift that we are now, I guess, moving into? Is it a point, or is it gradual, like?
They're saying it's happening now. We know this. It's been happening before. It's been happening. There's no time. So they want to, they're trying to speak like us humans. They're trying to speak like us, but they're saying there's no time. So the future, it's been happening, the now it's happening, and the past, it's been happening. So it's a thing, it's a process of energy shifting that's continuous. You know, it doesn't stop, it's continuous. So we can't give a time. So they can speak like us and say hundreds of years, or, you know, 50 years time, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen. And if you see sometimes when you get some form of confirmation, when someone says a time, most of the time it's not exact, you know, and it's not exact because really we don't need to worry about the time. We just need to do and be it and start just doing it. And the growth will guide us to the time.
What can we do? Is there anything we could practice? I mean, of course, diet, of course, thoughts, but do you get any specific practice that maybe could help our acceleration, because we are in such a difficult passageway?
I'll speak just quickly for me, for my journey of where I've been to just do, like just do, just be, and just do, is really going within. Going within, because when you go within and you find that inner higher self within you, that intuition, that oneness of all things, that creation, that when you know that what oneness really means, this table here, this wood is the oneness of us, these stones is the oneness of us, the air, the elements, the animals, the insects that fly, that when you really understand it and you become it, you shift naturally. If there's other things that you still need to learn and grow within, then it's like levels that you go through. And the first thing that they're saying as well is to go within, always go within. Understand that we've been programmed so much to go without and listen to others and get information from others and read books from others and do things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But by doing that all the time, we leave the going within.
Yeah, yes, I agree. No, that's really beautiful. Sheila asks, is there any sense about our galactic family being acknowledged worldwide that will be coming up soon? I mean, we're aware of that, but is there a sense of a planetary acknowledgement of a galactic community that you think might be coming online?
I'm going to bring them in again. I'm going to let them answer it just quickly. They're saying, Sheila, you're doing it already. You're doing it already. The energy that you're doing, the energy that you're being, you're doing it already. And it's not just you, but you have a big part to this. And you know this. They're saying you know this. And the big part that you play is going to determine how this plays out. So what they're saying is, with regards to you, is it's happening already, and it's something that we don't need to really worry about the future, because when we're in something and we of it and we're being it, it naturally grows. And within that growth, it tells us where to go next, and where to go next, and how to go next, and what to do next, and how to love next. And, you know, and it naturally just flows and it does its thing. So they're saying, humans, like, take a deep breath and allow the frequency and the oneness of air and elements guide what needs to be guided, and let it flow, and it will just open up how it needs to open up. And don't be afraid. If you let fear come in, fear will shift energy.
Thank you.
So,
Sheila, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, we're all multidimensional beings, and we're all, you know, here at this particular time for a reason, not just here at the conference, but on Earth. I'm wondering, can they give a sense? I know it has already started and that it's going to take some time, but is there one particular pivotal point where there will be a mass conscious awakening?
they're saying that they're bringing in numbers. So they're saying 3. So they're bringing in number 3, and they're saying the reason why they're bringing in number 3, look at the shape of 3. Look at when you draw 3, look at that shape, because it's the shape of numbers that brings frequencies. So they're saying that in the 30s, so we're in the 20s at the moment, and in the 20s, we're still growing, we're still learning, we're still doing what we're doing, and we're going to grow. When we get into the 30s now with the 3s, that's going to be massive. That's going to be like, we will start to change. Our face expressions are going to start to change the more that we grow. So when they say we, they're talking about the collective that know that we have a purpose. You know, the ones that are doing it and just doing it for nothing, not for the physical realm, just they know that this is what they have to do. We will start to change. Our face will start to change. And when that starts to happen, you know that it's gone to a next level. You might start to look younger instead of looking older. You might, you know, there's going to be something that's going to start to change. So that's going to be, they're saying 3, they're saying in the 30s. So this 20s that we're in now, it's still, you know, it's the growing process.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Right. That makes sense, because this does seem like 20 years of preparation until we get to the place where we can really embody a shift of consciousness. So, well, thank you, Zoe, the Sage Pennant. How can people find you and do sessions with you and talk more with you and just hang out? How can people find you?
So at the present moment, I work with the beings, so that's what I do. And I do energy work with them. So they use me, and I do energy work with people and other humans and animals and insects as well. And green stuff and stuff. And you can get me on Sage Oneness. So I'm on social media as Sage Oneness.
Sage One List, it's called?
Oneness. The Sage Oneness. Yeah.
Sage Oneness.
So
I'll put that in the chat.
yeah, I can put it up there. So it's called Linktree, the Sage Oneness. So it's Linktree / the Sage Oneness, and all my information is up there. My books are up there. So there's a lot that I haven't gone through. Like, I'm writing books. I'm writing a novel at the moment. I'm in the process of doing a documentary. So that should be out soon on the beings, where they're again giving a little bit more messages because they want to shift energy. So they're using me really to just help shift the energy. That's all that they're doing. But I will put it up there, and then people can contact me there. I didn't even get to say why my name's changed to Sage. There's so much more. But thank you.
I
Thank
know you
for
have a
having
lot,
me.
and thanks so much for giving us just a little piece here. But
Yeah.
will you be on the panel later today? Later
I will
tonight?
see. Well, it's 7 something here now. So I think that's going to be like 2 in the morning. So I'll see where I astral travel. Yeah, because I will be astral traveling into that 9. So I'll see if I come back in time. Then if I do, it's meant to be, then I'll be here.
You can always do Zoom and astral travel at the same time if you can. Anyway, thanks so much. It's really added
so
to the
much.
whole presentation.
Thank you all. Thank you guys. Love and peace.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Great to see you again.
Okay. And you. Take care.
Yes.
Bye-bye.